Hey, welcome to Game Dev Weekly, the weekly show where I do game development. This week I'm releasing the 0.2 update for Hydroneer. If you're new here, Hydroneer is a game I've been working on where you dig for gold and other resources to turn them into profit to build massive mining machines. You can check out the latest version of my game on Patreon for $2. I'm going to go through some of the new features in the game. If you'd like to see the full patch notes, you can find them in the Discord or in the main menu in the game. First up is the new trees. I didn't really like the old trees, so I scrapped them and added in these new ones. These trees are also a lot larger and positioned nicer, so they have nicer collisions. A few of the comments I had from the patrons that they were awkward to move around, sometimes getting caught on the invisible collisions that were surrounding them, so these should be a lot nicer when you're running through the forest. Here you can see the new ones and the old ones next to each other. So the old ones are the bigger, clunkier ones, and the new ones, they look a lot nicer, you can see from here. I also did a few lighting fixes in this update as well. So one of the major features in this update is the new blacksmithing system. I really enjoyed creating this system, and the way it works is you get these iron ore. So the same way that you get gold ore and different gems, you get these iron ores. So first off, what you need to do is to turn them into an iron bar. Right here I'm going to make 2 iron bars. The iron ore goes into the crucibles the same way the gold ore does when you're creating a gold bar. So I'm just going to wait for these to heat up. While they're heating up, I'll show you the other tools. So this now comes with a hammer. So when you're actually using the anvil later on, you'll need the hammer. And the anvil's pretty simple. It's just like any other build item. You need to snap it onto something. So I put it on this foundation block here. And then using my mouse, I can just select the different item to craft. So you can do a dagger, you can do an axe, or you can do a sword. So looks like these are done now. So I'm going to empty them out. There's 1 bar. There's another. So I can't just put these straight on the anvil and start whacking them. I need to heat them up. So I'm going to put them in the furnace. And these heat up a little bit quicker than the crucible does because they're a bit smaller. So I'll wait for those to heat up. Yeah, that should be hot enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place them on the anvil. Select the axe. I'm going to take my hammer and create an axe. So this axe can now be sold. It can't be used as a weapon or anything. Obviously this game doesn't have combat in it, and I don't really intend to right now to put any combat. But you can take this axe, maybe even put it in the bucket, and go sell it as a resource in the store. One feature that I'm getting from my Patreons is that they would like these pipes to be able to rotate on a different axis. So right now you can only kind of rotate it this direction, where it kind of makes things a little bit hard in case you want to, have things a bit lower down or whatever. So what I've done, I've made it so only these building pipes can actually be rotated in this axis as well. So it allows you to kind of build up and down depending on what you want. I wanted to keep this new rotation strictly with these pipes and the rigs, just because if you have those build items and you start rotating them, it might look a bit weird. Let's say if you have like a furnace or something, you have it upside down, that would really not look great in the game. So I've just kept it to the pipes for now. Another much requested feature is the ability to fill up your bucket through pipes. So right here I've actually made it so water droplets come out of these pipes. I quite like it how it is now. Might change the visuals later on, but anyway, if I come up next to this pipe and I just put some water in this bucket. So in this new update I've overhauled the rig system completely, and a lot of the work has been put into these 2 items here. So this is the new control panel. As you can see, it's no longer water powered directly, but it does still have all of its levers and switches. Next is the engine. This is the new addition to Hydroneer. What it is a 6-piston engine. Spoiler alert, I don't know anything about engines. But basically what it does is water goes in one end and electricity comes out of the other. This is enough electricity to power 4 items. Now, something to remember is not everything needs power. So for example, these carriages here don't need power. This fuel tank doesn't need power. But something like this drill over here or the rotor does need power. So let's set up a rig. This is going to be a pretty basic rig. The entire system has actually been completely recreated from the ground up. There was a lot of issues that I was having, especially with saving and loading, that now I've got most of them out of the way, but I have also introduced a completely new system that helps players see where the errors actually are by adding in error coloring. I'll go into that more later on though. So I've placed a control panel right here. The control panel has a power switch on the top. So this top bit right here needs to be powered. And then it's still got its bottom attachments here for control wires as well. So these control wires have got a small icon on them, which is a red control icon. And then the power switches have got a yellow power icon on them as well. So what I need to do now is connect the engine up with some fuel source. So if I just put the engine down here, and then I'm going to add in the fuel source over here as well. So let's just put that on there. Obviously this isn't really set up in any particular way. It's not going to be a good machine at all. When the piston is powered, it's not using any power right now, but the pistons are moving, just to show you that it is linked up. So next I'm going to place down this storage tank right here. If you guys remember from a previous video, this is where all the dirt eventually goes into, and then you can use the switch to empty it out. Right now it's currently empty on 0. So I'm going to use one of these pipes. So as I was saying previously, these pipes are able to rotate on 2 axes, I don't know. And I'm going to place down a rotor as well right here. Okay, so now I need to link up this rotor. So first we've got the power on the left side, so I'm gonna link that up there, and then I'm gonna link this guy up over here to this one. I think later on I'm gonna start to make these wires look a bit nicer. They do look kind of cool, but they also get in the way of absolutely everything, and they kind of go through objects as well. So next I'm gonna add on this guy. If I can rotate it correctly, there we go. And I'm gonna put my drill on as well. Oh, dropped it. Okay. So if I just climb up here, so the power's on the top and the control's on the bottom. So I'll grab a power cable and connect that up. Pretty simple. Again, the collisions kind of look a bit ugly. It'll look even uglier when I'm spinning this thing around. And I think I'm going to connect it to a switch on this side. So connect that to the power. Right. So let's see. Is this thing going to move, or should be able to move? Okay. It's... Oh, right. So I forgot about this. So this is now got a power connection here. So this blinking light is telling me there's no power connected. So I just need to grab a power cable and connect it up. Okay. There's a few... Oh, God. So as you can see, there's a massive error happening there. I'll fix that later on. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's try this again. Switch on the drill. So now the drill's spinning, and then I'm going to turn the rotor up. Wrong one. There we go. So now as it spins around, the wiry mess gets even worse. Obviously this drill is completely in the wrong place. You would kind of want it to face downwards, but if you maybe wanted to have a large crane that went out here with the drill facing downwards, that would also work. So I'll make this slow down and reverse as well. There we go. So that's the new drill system. Obviously there's one more fix I need to do here before pushing this out, but otherwise it's working pretty nice. The last thing I want to show you is the new help menu. It's just a basic menu that later on I will introduce videos into this. For now, since features are changing so much and so often, I figured it was best to just keep it as an easy text file. So the tutorial book here has got different sections for each thing. Also, each section has its own image and a bit of text to go along with it. I think later on I might actually introduce a border around this image to break it up a little bit. but I'm pretty happy with how it's come out so far. So, thanks for watching guys, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you want to play the game, head over to my Patreon. The minimum tier is $2 and you get full access to the game and all of its updates. You get credited in the video and you get to see some of the behind the scenes images and videos I upload onto the Patreon feed and also the Discord feed. I also got to do that competition that I do every week. So if you're interested in winning a copy of my previous game, The Scuttle, on Steam, leave a comment on this video and also a like, and in a couple days I'll go in there and choose a random winner and send you a free key of the game. Thanks for watching guys, please remember to like and subscribe the video, it really helps me out, and I'll see you all next week.